Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Couch. And in today's video, we are going to take a look at something lost and forgotten and just, talk a little bit about what it is. Because I made a community post a while back now, actually way too long ago, so you might all have totally forgotten about it. About a guitar that I found when I was doing some spring cleaning. And yeah, I totally forgot about this guitar. Built it like 5 or 7 years ago. A really long time now. I have it right here in this box, right here. And so I'm gonna take it out and tell you a little bit about it, and then I don't know, maybe you can help me out with what I'm supposed to do with it. And yeah, we'll just see what happens, or if anything happens, because I don't know. I don't really have any plans for it. So there is the body, and here's the neck. Now the first thing you might notice is the tape on here, and I think that's just there to protect the fretboard so that I can lacquer it. Because as you can see, it's all covering grey primer. It's really thin, and it has a molded scratch plate that follows the curvature of the body, at least somewhat. It needs to be screwed in place. It's only held in place with one tiny little screw, and there's also a little catcher glued to it, which, if I remember correctly, is because this guitar used to be yellow. I finished the entire guitar and it was yellow, and then for some reason I was not really happy, and I stripped the paint. I think there was something wrong with the paint, if I remember correctly. And yeah, all the parts are gone. It doesn't have any tuners or anything. The neck wood is this really strange and super rare sherry from, or it's not sherry, but it's closely related to sherry. It's a wood from that you can only find on a volcanic island on the coast of Japan. Don't remember the name of it. I got it from my dad because he works with trees and plants and stuff like that, and has sometimes the opportunity to get super rare woods, and then I use them for weird things. The fretboard is regular cherry that you can buy. I don't really know what wood the body is, but it seems like it's, as you can see on the inside, some sort of really light colored wood. And if I remember correctly, this was really figured and had a really nice front. The entire it's a one piece or a two piece body. I can't really tell. I think it's actually a one piece body because I don't see any seams inside of the cavity. If I remember correctly, it had a really nice super figured front. The top of the body looked really figured. I think it all looked really figured, but I think I made it so that the top was especially nice looking. And if I remember correctly, I made this weird Cosmo paint job. Basically something, like a purple, reddish, bluish burst thing. All over here. Like purple becomes blue, becomes red in the middle, or something like that. And I messed up something, but I don't remember what it was, if it's like a hole somewhere or yeah, I don't know. And so I had to cover the entire thing in primer, and then I painted it yellow, and then I molded this scratch plate, which looks a little bit dodgy. It definitely needs some work. It also has a hole in the middle of the pickguard right here, but it doesn't have any holes for the pickups. Because if I remember correctly, this guitar was sort of like a pre-10 damn it, I don't remember anything. But I think this was sort of Mr. Burns, my other guitar, but like the stage before it became Mr. Burns. If that makes any sense. So a lot of the electronical pokery jiggery things that I was experimenting with in this guitar was later, you know, finalized and like really developed into that guitar. If you don't know which one I'm talking about when I say Mr. Burns, it's the guitar with it's the Telecaster guitar that you've seen in the background sometimes, that has a bunch of symbols burned into it from a bunch of things that I like. And if you want to, I can make a video about that guitar in more detail, because I haven't done that. And it's actually a really fun thing. You know, both in like the guitar and all the things on it, but also the electronics. But anyway, it has this weird hole here under the pick, where the bridge would have been, and I had no idea what was there. I think maybe a single coil pickup, because it looks like I plugged half of it. You can see a tiny little marks around here. That is like that looks like it's just more of this. So I think that maybe there was like a single coil under the bridge, which I don't remember why I did that. There's a lot of things about this guitar that I don't really remember. Like, for example, it has a very Telecaster headstock like that. It's a little bit wonky right here, which I don't really know why I did it like that, because it's not something I would do. And it's also, the reason why I say it's strange is, you know, obviously when you start building guitars, you might do weird things and have strange solutions that you later look back on as weird. But this is not that old of a guitar. I had already done like 15 guitars, or probably even more than that, by the time I made this guitar. And so making necks that looked like this was something that I don't know, I don't think I'd done that before. So I don't know if that's just that I wanted to have a weird route up there because I'd seen someone else do that and thought it looked cool, and then I just messed it up. Because the routing looks messed up. If you look really closely at the routing surrounding the thrust rod there, you can see it looks really weird. Obviously I could just pick some sort of cover that covers all of it, you know, sort of like how a Gibson has a cover. So it's not really an issue, but it's strange that I've done that. It has side markers that I don't know if you can see them. Oh god damn it. Anyway, there's very tiny little metal marks, which is also kind of strange. I wonder if it's, you know, like nails or something that I put in. Which, I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but yeah. It has a really thick neck. So I think it feels comfortable. Like a comfortable thickness to it. So yeah, maybe I would have to take that down a little bit. I can see that the neck is a little bit not warped, but it needs to be adjusted to go back a little bit. It seems fairly straight. It might be a little bit curving off to the side, but yeah, I don't know. I would have to take off the tape and really check it. I know that I've had the guitar all together and I've played it, so I think that it just sounded probably bad. Another thing that I know, and I think it's one of the reasons why I've abandoned this shape, because I have a cutout body that I haven't done the carving to or any real work to. It looks the same, that have just been lying around. These little dots here need to be I need to do something about these, because they definitely cut into your body, like here. It's really uncomfortable. This is not a very good body design. I mean, I think it looks nice if you see it like this, but I don't, it's not a comfortable guitar. So these horns up here, these little extra things, They're not really that great. And try to remember anything more special about this guitar. Holes in the pickguard, basically some sort of like Stratocaster thing, where the like a hole here for a jack and then a tone and a volume, but not some sort of switch or anything. So I'm assuming, because there's no hole on the side, so I'm pretty sure the last one here. So I'm pretty sure the last one here is for a jack. So I was probably doing some weird experiment with one pickup. So maybe the guitar had one pickup, but that would change the idea of having something under the bridge, which is also a mystery for me, because I don't remember why I would do it like that. And it has a very tiny little channel that I don't know if you can see that, but if you look at it, it's like a tiny little channel there, and it's just like big enough for a wire, but it's really not that deep. I don't know. And it has a huge cavity in here, so basically all under here is also empty. So I don't really know what I was thinking. It could also be that I had hidden pickups under here, because that's something that I know that Mr. Burns, the other guitar, has. So I could have been experimenting with hidden pickups under the pickguard, and just have had like 4 pickups or something, or 3 pickups, and just no selector for them. Like every pickup is on at the same time, and having one under the bridge. I don't know. It could also be that I just had a coil under the bridge for some reason, and it wasn't actually a pickup. But I don't know why I would have that. I mean, I know that you can, in a single coil guitar, if you feel it's too much of a humming thing, you could have a dead coil, basically. It's basically if you take a single coil pickup and you remove the magnets and the slugs, and you just hide that in the body, a pickup, you could have a direct to the output connection, and in that way whatever pickup you have is silent. It works best if every pickup is spun the same way, and then you have one spun the opposite way that you use for this, because it's basically like becoming a dead other coil of a humbucker, basically, which I don't think really affects the tone, but maybe it does a little. Never mind, has nothing to do with this. I don't really know what more there is to say about this guitar, except like I don't know what to do with it. I have no plans for it, obviously. The headstock is, I forgot to say, it looks really like a Telecaster from the front, except this weird thing here, but also the back is super carved and has another piece of sherry, and it's super carved. It definitely needs to be like sanded and finalized and made to look good, because it's very rough. And yeah, I don't know what to do with it. Like, what do you think I should do? Should I just, I don't know, should I sand the body and make it look flat and nice, and then paint it in some cool color? Maybe just put in a humbucker in here, like route through the pick guard and put in a humbucker? Or should I do something else? Do you have any cool ideas? Let me know. I could also have like one pickup, but let it be a neck pickup. That's cool too. There isn't that much space to add a switch. It would have to be basically here, which is obviously like doable. And I could probably get away with routing out the body a little bit more. Just looking inside the body like this, I can see that it's really filled with a bunch of knots and a swirlingness of how the grain is pulled in all directions. So it's really a figured piece of wood. And I could obviously strip it back so we can take a look and see what's under this. gray primer, but I'm pretty sure that there is some sort of damage that I didn't fix or couldn't fix in a good way, so that's why it's gray. Another thing that's really strange about it that I see now is that, because usually you have a taper on the outside of the pickguard here, you know, just that's the way it is, and you don't have it on places like where the bridge goes or where the neck meets the pickguard, but this has it right here. So the pickguard goes up behind the bridge and has a little bit of a slant right there. The pickguard is really rough as well, so I don't know, sloppy work. But I would definitely have to do something about these horns, because they are on both sides. Like if I sit like this and play the guitar, it's definitely poking into my side. I have a weird memory, which I don't know if it's true, so I'm hesitant to say anything. But I have a weird memory of this guitar that I built it because I saw Ben Crow, and this is maybe I shouldn't say this, but I have a weird memory of seeing Ben Crow build a guitar in 9 hours and being like, come on dude, it's easy to build a guitar in 9 hours. Not saying that it is, but that was my sort of thoughts or anything, and that's why I made this guitar, because I was like I'm so cool. I don't know, really, I don't know why, but that's some sort of memory I have in my head of me like being like, yeah, because that would also explain why some things are not perfect, which, you know, to be humble and to admit that I think too highly of myself. Like I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but this is not as finalized as it should be. It could be smoother and more, just finalized. Obviously, it's really hard to get into sand in these, but I don't know. I have this vague memory of that being a part of this guitar, and it does have some areas where I feel like it's been sloppily shapen, like right up here and right here. It's very light, but it's also very thin, so I don't know what it weighs, but it weighs less than most of my guitars. I don't know. It's also kind of strange to hold because the body is so thin, so it lies really close to you. It's obviously carved. It has a carved top, which I don't know if you can see that it has a carved top, but it also has like carved back, and an all-access neck joint. It really has the handshake. It's super easy to move up the frets, but it's really strange because it's so thin, but the neck is so thick, so it almost feels like the neck is thicker than the body, which it obviously isn't, but it feels like it is. Yeah. But anyway, I don't really have a point for this video. This was something that I don't know. It's like an abandoned, lost thing. So I'm making this video now, and whatever ideas you have, good or bad, let me hear them in the comments below. Even if it's something like put the guitar on fire or just throw it away, because it's a little bit negative though, I would say, but yeah, you can write that if you feel it's funny. Not gonna do it though, because it has some strange wood in it. I know, because this is an old guitar, so it's from the time when I was more into experimenting with wood and doing, like, every guitar has to have something crazy and weird that no one's ever heard of before. I'm rambling, sorry. This whole video is sort of a rambling video though, so I don't know if you're watching this far into it. write hopscotch in the comments to let me know that you actually did watch to this part, or you skipped to this part and you just happened to hear that, which is equally cool, so I'll let it slide. Let me know in the comments below what you think I should do with this guitar. If you have any cool ideas, or if you have any ideas at all, or if you just think that, hey, do something, you know, that too, because otherwise I'm probably just gonna put it back in the closet where I found it, and I don't know, take it out in a couple of years when I do have something cool for it, because I have no ideas. Yeah. Anyway, until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and build a strange, weird looking violin inspired guitar. Hiya!